Formulating lasting solutions to conflicts in parts of the continent and weaning African states of their excessive external dependency. These are just some of the priorities that have been identified by international experts as the 38th African Union Summit gets underway tomorrow. The AU is also set to elect a new chairperson at the gathering. Newzroom Afrika's Juniour Khumalo tells us more.
The 38th AU Summit gets underway on Wednesday. This convention of the continent's 55 member states comes at a critical juncture in Africa's geopolitical landscape. Conflicts in parts of the continent and America's decision to halt the health aid to African countries compels the continental body to rethink its mediation role and weigh Africa's excessive external dependency.
This summit is going to be different from other summits. It's taking place at the time of global turbulence, at the time of multipolarity that is not clearly defined. It's taking place when in the White House you have somebody who advocates total different approaches, who's taken declared economic war with Europe, China, and everyone else, and South Africa included in that equation. So this summit would have to deal with the multipolarity that is emerging.
The AU gathering in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia comes hot on the heels of US President Donald Trump delivering a series of blows to, in particular, the management of health in Africa. This is after the American president announced his country's exit from the World Health Organization and the freezing of money distributed by the US Agency for International Development. While this has triggered alarm in the global health sector, this has also forced the AU to contemplate the ramifications of the continent's excessive external dependency. According to experts, part of this reimagining needs to focus on financing. The AU has for years largely depended on 5 African economies: South Africa, Libya, Nigeria, Egypt, and Algeria.
With the United States showing less interest in funding non-US concerns, you are likely to have new participants and actors in this regard. And again, they might also have their own agenda. I think China is going to see an opportunity. Russia will certainly see an opportunity. We're going to see less and less of the Europeans participating. But I think what's going to happen now is when China, they've already built the headquarters of the AU. They are also likely to come in terms of supporting the AU's developmental agenda.
America also donated immensely to the AU, a reality that looks likely to change. This summit is also set to elect a new chairperson, with Fagude cautioning that given the AU's significance, external forces could seek to influence who emerges as victor.
Got a lot of external stakeholders who like to see a candidate that will be pushing the agenda in Africa, whether it's the candidate that will facilitate and understand the importance of the mineral extraction and exploitation thereof in the DRC. That's going to be a big discussion. You're still going to have that divide between the East, West, South and North in terms of what they want.
There are 3 front runners for the AU chair: Raila Odinga of Kenya and Mohamedou Al-Yusuf of Djibouti and Richard Radriamandrato of Madagascar. According to Fagude, the alleged support of the M23 rebels by Rwanda and conflicts on the African continent will feature prominently in the AU deliberations. According to the UN, there are wars in at least 16 of the 55 African countries, with 40 million citizens displaced as a result. while the South African government has been of the view that the inclusion of the AU would rally the continent behind its G20 presidency, Fakute believes this may be Ramaphosa's undoing.
It was a form of punishment for South Africa, and this is why the AU was invited, and also to downscale the significance of South Africa in Africa. One will argue that there's been a lobbying from other countries, particularly because of South Africa's strong positions on geopolitics.
The summit gets underway with the ordinary session of the Executive Council on Wednesday and Thursday, followed by the heads of state and government session on Saturday and Sunday. For Newzroom Afrika on channel 405, I'm Juniour Khumalo in Johannesburg.